All-Star Game. The biggest names in the game, all on one court, one more time. 2 games of the most physical, competitive, and nonstop 3-on-3 action. The game played the way you love. Watch live Saturday on CBS at 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific, and catch replays Monday on BET. Yay!
Stocks are rising on Wall Street, at least the Dow up 254 points. The S&P 500 is adding 26. The NASDAQ has turned a bit lower. It's down 31. Price of oil is moving higher, more than $0.50 as the Strait of Hormuz standoff continues between the U.S. and Iran. WTI back over $85 a barrel. And at the pump, gas is up 2 cents. AAA's national average for regular $4.08 per gallon now. Bitcoin and other cryptocurrency prices, they're rising slightly today, ahead of a big meeting later at the White House, where Fox's Alexandria Hoff reports.
Top crypto executives, they've been waiting for some regulatory help from Congress to help with their legal standing and kind of define that better. Well, that has stalled. Today, they're going to get the chance to speak with federal regulators face to face. We have the commissioners, the chairman of the Securities and Exchange Commission, the Commodity Futures Trading Commission. They're going to be in attendance today, along with the CEOs of Coinbase, Blockchain Association, and Robinhood, just to name a few. On today's meeting, the White House tells Fox the president will host an event with tech leaders to strengthen America's innovative and technological dominance. Prediction market companies will not be part of the event.
The president may not like this. Another state taking action on artificial intelligence data centers.
Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro's executive order mandates that data center projects must first be approved by local officials, and they have to pay for their own power. Shapiro's order also says the centers must hire locally, be transparent with local governments, and adhere to high standards of water conservation. He's removing all data center projects from the state's fast-track permitting program and says non-disclosure agreements for the projects will not be allowed. It's a change in stance for Shapiro, a Democrat who is facing re-election this fall, who had encouraged data center development. He says the shift came from conversations he's had with concerned people who live in his state. Tanya J. Powers, Fox News.
In baseball, a big blowout. Milwaukee Brewers beat the Seattle Mariners 22-0. I'm Dave Anthony.
The new All-Pro Battery by Steel. Tackle any task with 60% more peak power. Exclusively available only at your local Steel dealer. 60% peak power comparison between AP300PC and AP300S.
Your 710 KURV AccuWeather forecast. Partly sunny, hot this afternoon. Breezy too. Highs from the upper 90s to near 105 with the southeast winds at 10 to 20 miles an hour. Breezy this evening, otherwise partly cloudy and humid. The low in the lower 80s. Southeast winds still at 10 to 20 miles an hour. Sunshine for Thursday, becoming windier. Highs from 100 to 105. Mostly sunny. Breezy Friday. Highs again 100 to 105. I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Jason Caterina on the Valley's official weather station, 710 KURV.
I told my buyers, let's get them bought. Right now is the time to go. GiveMeTheVin.com is America's best car buyer, paying top dollar for your car, truck, sports car, exotic. What are you waiting for? We want to buy your car right now. Find out why thousands of satisfied customers across the United States put more money in their pocket by going to GiveMeTheVin.com.
Sell us your car. GiveMeTheVin.com. So easy you can do it in your underwear.
Gear up this fall with the new All-Pro Battery by Steel. Tackle any task with 60% more peak power. And a fast charge time of just 10 minutes means it's ready when you are. The All-Pro Battery is just the upgrade your shed has been waiting for. Outperform the outdoors with battery tools by Steel. Exclusively available only at your local Steel dealer. 60% peak power. Comparison between AP300PC and AP300S. 10-minute charge time to reach 80% with AL1602MO.
The 710 KURV People Poll is brought to you by Total Imaging Solutions, the home of copiers. Fixed within 4 hours. Broadcasting from the Valley's commercial and fleet headquarters studio at PayneAutoGroup.com. You're listening to News Talk 710 KURV. From the Radio United Broadcast Center, this is the Sergio Show. Talking about the news headlines and topics that affect you. And now, the Sergio Show with Sergio Sanchez.
Woke up this morning and I realized it's already a Wednesday morning. My goodness. The Sergio Show on News Talk 710 KURV. We're in downtown Edinburgh, or as the locals, my family around here would say, Edimburgo. We're in downtown Edinburgh. We're at the gorgeous Museum of South Texas History. I tell you what, our museum, Museum of South Texas History, is a gorgeous facility. They've done, through the years, through the decades, they have done a stellar job. Collection of how we have evolved, not only in the most recent century, but centuries going back to pre-America. You need to come and see it. If you have not visited the Museum of South Texas History, it's like a Spanish villa, beautiful architecture here in downtown. I need to ask Frank again, Dr. Francisco Guajardo. He's the chief here. I think this used to be the old courthouse in Edinburgh. Anyway, we'll visit with my friend Frank. I love Frank. I love speaking with him. I always learn so much when I speak with him. Dr. Francisco Guajardo, and the gang here at Most History, Museum of South Texas History, making today's broadcast possible. This special broadcast from downtown Edinburgh here at the Museum of South Texas History. Today's broadcast is a KURV UTRGV Division I Football Season 2 special. And again, thank you to Most History, the Museum of South Texas History. That's where we're broadcasting from. And a big thank you as well to my friend, my brother, Jack Ewing from Ewing Latta and Associates, Jack Ewing CPA. He's an alum of the very successful baseball program that's been around for decades, back in the golden years of it's not UT, it was Pan American baseball. He was a superstar back then. He has a ministry, a Bible study, prayer ministry with a baseball team and the coaches from UTRGV football. Iron sharpens iron. We'll get a chance to speak with him later in the program as well, more than likely around the 9:30 segment. And, of course, segment number 1, the star of today's program, who also made this broadcast possible. Thank you to UTRGV and the office of Dr. Guy Bailey, president of UTRGV. And we will start with him. Producer Freddie, I'll pitch it back to HQ and share with you this conversation. This is a KURV UTRGV Division I Football Season 2 special. We're broadcasting from the Museum of South Texas History in Edinburgh. Here we go. Season 2, UTRGV Division I Football. And we want to say thank you to the many supporters that make this special news broadcast possible today in celebration of Season 2. But the notes, the press releases, just from football season to football season, and then a quick review of the 10 years. Who else could accomplish the story, as we're in the business of telling stories here on the radio and online, all the social media broadcasts that we do. Dr. Guy Bailey, president of UTRGV. Dr. Bailey, congratulations on all the success of our university. And we were talking a bit off here. He was mentioning to me, just reviewing some of the notes, and it literally is mind-blowing to, roll the clock back 10 plus years and look at the amazing growth at our university. So let's start there, Dr. B. Let's review the past 10 plus years and some of the just amazing accomplishments at the university.
Well, it's really, I'm very gratified to have been part of this. We've had terrific administrators, faculty, students, and our community has embraced us in a way that communities around the state don't always embrace their institutions. And so what it's led to is really a decade of remarkable accomplishment. Let me tick off a few of them. We opened up with about 28,000 students. We've added 8,000 students during that time, 8,000 students. There are some universities that are not that large, right? In fact, the majority of them in the United States probably no bigger than 8,000. So we've added the equivalent of a small university during that time. In addition, we've added a number of really important professional schools, all of them related really to healthcare. School of Medicine, everybody knows about. Podiatric medicine, so important in this region. We're the only school of podiatric medicine in the state of Texas, one of only a dozen in the United States. We have also added the doctorate in physical therapy, the doctorate in occupational therapy, Think about how important those things are. So I go to our physical therapist for my shoulder. They're terrific. And then if you think beyond that, even we have we've reached R1. We've met the criteria for Research One status, Carnegie Research One status. There are only 187 universities in the United States that have that status. Think about that. When we started in 2015, we weren't even R2. We had to make it to R2. Now we've made it to R1. To do that, we had to quadruple our research expenditures. They're over $100 million a year now. We didn't have the requisite PhD to produce and EDDs to produce the number of doctoral students. So we've added PhD programs in physics, human genetics. We added them in math and statistics, and material science and engineering, and computer science. When you add all of those PhDs to the EDDs and PhDs we had, we're able to produce over 210, over 70 a year over a 3-year period. That and the research expenditures get us to Carnegie R1 status. And we've met the criteria. It won't be announced for a while because Carnegie works on a bit different cycle there. But that's huge. That's tremendous. All of those things are quite remarkable. But think about this. We've spent more than $800 million in construction and renovation funds. I want to repeat that figure. $800 million. We talk a lot about the big companies coming in, and we're delighted to have them in the Valley. We need them for the university. We need LNG. We need the shipbuilders. We need all of the advanced manufacturing we have. We need that very much. But we're pretty big ourselves, $800 billion in construction. And it's all across the Valley. It's from Port Isabel. We have a facility there, and one's going up right now in Port Isabel, to Brownsville. We have several things going up in Brownsville, Harlingen. We have a facility in Weslaco. Then you got McAllen, you got Edinburgh. So all across the Valley, this construction is taking place. We have well over 7,000 employees. So if you think about that, the economic impact of all of this is tremendous. Not only are we providing an enormous number of educational opportunities for our students, we're also expanding healthcare in the Rio Grande Valley, and we're having an economic impact. And by the way, I didn't mention the Cancer and Surgery Center, did I? So that's now open. You can, you can have your joints replaced. I have artificial hips, rotator cuff repairs. You can do all that right now in the Rio Grande Valley at our surgery center, some of the best surgeons in the world. And then our cancer center. And again, MD Anderson was our partner in putting this thing together. You can get your infusion, almost all of the treatment, except for, the most specialized, 1% of the cancer treatments you can do right here in the Rio Grande Valley. And that's extremely important for our population.
And getting better all the time, and more specialists on the way, and more research and more opportunity. It seems to be growing exponentially. Quite an amazing accomplishment in 10 years, the growth of the university. And back to the R1 research status that you're now functioning at. Is word getting around that UTRGV is at and functioning at R1 status? I know Carnegie was going to take a while, like you said, to make that announcement, but
that's right. We function that way right now. We've met all the criteria. In fact, we're ahead in many respects of a number of the R1 institutions that already exist. For example, SMU is a Carnegie R1 institution, but we have far more research than SMU does. And so if you go down the list, we're actually well ahead of some of the existing Carnegie R1 institutions already. And it'll take as I said, Carnegie has to gather all the data, the data gathering cycle ended this summer. Now they'll analyze that and they'll verify it and make an announcement down the road.
Dr. Guy Bailey, President UTRGV, in this UTRGV football season, season number 2 special here on KURV in our social media, all the broadcasts that we do. So is word getting around that we're functioning as R1? Is that going to help? I don't know, like landing more research money, partnerships with other major universities and research institutions, like very soon?
Oh, yes. People know and people are aware of this. When our vice president for uh, you know marketing and communications told me when he was at a conference, really, and he said people there not only see what we are doing, they're in some respects jealous of what we're doing. We've been able to
Good.
accomplish a whole lot. We've had a lot. We have a lot of support from people in the Rio Grande Valley and from the University of Texas system. That combination, along with the great personnel we have running the institution, really makes all the difference in the world. But yes, people notice that, and our folks get asked to do things around the country to make presentations, and people are truly astonished at what they see. And that involves athletics as well. As you know, you mentioned we're entering our second football season. We have a lot of national attention from that. Somebody from the Washington Post was down here for our first or second one of our games early in the season. We had, we had quite a bit of national attention there, and then the first season was really successful beyond all expectations, and I mean we had the best inaugural season in NCAA Division I football history. So you can't argue with that. Coach set a very high bar. It's going to be really hard to replicate that. This is a tougher season coming up.
Dr. Guy Bailey, President, UTRGV. We're reflecting on 10 years of amazing success and growth at our university. This new special that we're conducting on KURV, or it's season 2 of Division I football at UTRGV. The incoming class is real big. You were mentioning at the beginning, 36,000, an amazing
That's
number.
right.
Yeah, and the collegiate high school programs that have been established over the past decade, also a major feather in the cap for the university. If you want to review that before we go pay some bills and then come back and we'll
those
talk about
things are one of a kind, and there's nothing else like them in the United States. And so, essentially, what you do, these are joint partnerships, fully joint partnerships with the school districts in Harlingen, Edinburgh, McAllen. You go all 4 years to these. The first 2 years, you're taught by teachers employed by the school district, and it's your regular high school courses that are preparing you for college courses. The second 2 years are taught solely by university faculty members. It's our regular faculty teaching you in courses. This is university education in every way. And so what happens when you graduate with 2 years toward your college degree, you've had those 2 years with college faculty members. You're really ready for what you're going to get when you go. And there's something else very important about that. It's important most of the time when you take collegiate credit in high school, what you're taking are core curriculum courses. It's what you should be taking. Now, but not all cores are the same. So if you're going to be an engineer, you have one core curriculum. If you're going to be a school teacher, you have another. It's very important that you get the right core curriculum, or you end up wasting some courses. And so we tailor our core curriculum to what you're going to do. And that makes such a big difference for our students. Now, one other good thing about it, you can participate in all of the school activities at your home high school while you do this. So, for example, if you're the high school quarterback or cheerleader or in the band or something, you can do that at your home high school, whether it's, Vela, Mac High, or, one of the Harlingen South, one of these schools. You can continue to do that even as you go to the collegiate high school. So it's an experience that really is not duplicated anywhere else in the state of Texas or the United States, as far as I know.
Yes, sir. Dr. Guy Bailey, President, UTRGV, in this 710 KURV Season 2 Division I football special at our university, UTRGV. Thank you to our many supporters, including UTRGV, for making this broadcast possible. We'll take a break, pay some bills, come on back. with Dr. Bailey, broadcasting today at the Museum of South Texas History. Big thank you to them as well. They're one of the major supporters for this broadcast, having a lot of fun looking at history for South Texas. This is News Talk 710 KURV, UTRGV, Season 2, Division I football special.
Hurricane season is here, and the time to prepare is now. News Talk 710 KURV is your home for Tropical Coverage 2026. We'll bring you the latest information you'll need to help you prepare should a tropical storm or hurricane develop, with trusted resources from AccuWeather and the National Weather Service, plus direct updates from local authorities. Be ready, be prepared. Tropical Coverage 2026 is powered by Lee's Pharmacy, Mike's Plumbing, Electrical, and AC, Vega Roofing, and the Omar Ochoa Law Firm.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. Did you buy a timeshare because they told you it was a great investment? That's a lie. Most timeshares can be bought online for $1. To find out what your timeshare is worth and to cancel it, call us today and we'll send you our timeshare exit kit free with all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley for your free exit info guide. 800-885-3333. That's 800-885-3333.
Looking for a flexible part-time opportunity with a fun, fast-paced media company? Radio United is hiring a part-time sales coordinator. If you are organized, enjoy working with people, and have great computer and communication skills, bilingual preferred, we'd love to meet you. Help support our sales team, work with local businesses, and be a part of a company that connects communities every day. Apply now by sending your resume to human resources at radiounited.com. Join our team and help make an impact. Radio United is an equal opportunity employer.
You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You've still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight illnesses like pneumococcal pneumonia and RSV. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and can help protect you from getting really sick. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. See more at PfizerForAll.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Later tonight, your Houston Astros host the LA Angels. First pitch at 7:10. Powered by Dr. T's Primary Care for Men and Women and News Talk 710 KURV.
The Sergio Show on News Talk 710 KURV. Appreciate you tuning in, whether it's on the radio or online. Appreciate you all joining us on Radio Para Mí, the free app, and of course YouTube and X and Facebook. We post all these interviews there as well. And someday the kids at LinkedIn will figure out what they need to do live as well. But we'll chop up all this video and put it on LinkedIn as well. Dr. Guy Bailey is our guest as we continue this 710 KURV news broadcast special. It is UTRGV Division I football season 2, and we're marking this event with a recap, a look at some of the accomplishments at our university. Now, in case you missed any of the amazing news, and we only scratched the surface on what's going on at the university in the first segment, let's look at our expanding athletics program. We have an amazing athletic program. We have of course baseball, track and field, the swimming programs as well that are, and some of them an expansion because we had football. So let's recap that real quick, Dr. B.
Well, of course, football has gotten so much attention and national attention last year, statewide attention. Part of it's the success of the program itself. And again, as I mentioned, it was the best inaugural year in NCAA history. But more than that, it's how the community embraced the program. It's the tailgate and the excitement in the community about football. And people sat up and took notice of that around the state. It's very hard to duplicate what we have here. And that embrace by the community is extremely important to everything we do. And we're committed to making that even better. And again, it's more than just the game on the field. It's the band. We have a marching band last year for the first time. It was tremendous. We had this expanded spirit program, cheer, all of that was expanded. And so I think about 400 students in one way or another were involved and all this. And by the way, we have lots of student workers at the stadium too, so there are a lot of opportunities that way. But the importance of football in our community really can't be overstated. If you go into the local grocery stores here, the local merchants, UTRGV merchandise, you can get stuffies. We went to our local grocery store the other day because we got a bunch of grandkids. I got 12 grandkids. And so stuffies they love. And so we got a bunch of, one of them was already sold out of stuffies. So we had to go to another one. And I think we've got 9 of the 10 stuffies left. They're ordering more. But if you think about this, a decade ago, nobody bought UTRGV gear. You didn't see people going around with orange shirts and hats with Vaqueros on there. It didn't happen. Now that gear is sold everywhere, and we love it. You can be on both sides of the border too.
Yes,
so
sir. Yes, sir. Chase Conker, Athletic.
So we get it too. So.
Yeah. Which, by the way, you bought 9 out of 10.
Yeah.
Okay, so you were able to get enough for the grandkids. Okay, I was thinking.
That's right. We've got a couple of grandkids too old for that, but
okay,
the ones who are young enough, we got them all stuffy. So.
Chase Conk, our athletics director, was with us doing an interview earlier. He said that all the swag, the gear, it's been selling. I think they saw like a 4 or 5-fold increase in the sales number. I think at the store, and of course he was sporting a Guayabera that's really sweet. I'm going to get me one of those orange Guayaberas like the one that he had. Well, the economic impact of our football program is something to watch. Just in 1 year, can you imagine what it's going to be when we get more hotels, more restaurants in the area, get some football nightlife, because it's coming. I mean, Edinburgh is feeling that right now.
Sure.
Just review the economic impact so far.
Well, first of all, one of the best ways to review the impact is to look at what happens to the local restaurants and bars that stay open late on Saturday night, right after the game. They tell us they love us because we fill them up after the games, and in fact, they like it when we start at 5 rather than at 7:30 because they get even more people in. Unfortunately, it's not cool enough to do that, and as you understand, in early October. But it's a huge economic impact. It brings fans. Those kind of things bring fans in. Fans shop for the tailgate. All of that has an enormous impact. The opposing teams come. They stay in our hotels. They eat in our restaurants.
Excellent.
And we're going to do some things, I think, that will really expand excitement even more. We'll make an announcement on this later, but in one of our later September games, we're going to have a Pan de Campo contest.
Ooh,
and,
nice.
Pan de Campo is the state bread of Texas, right?
Yeah.
And so, and I'm a big fan of it. And so we're going to have the president's contest for the best Pan de Campo at the tailgate. We'll be announcing it soon.
Excellent. Excellent.
We're looking for things we can do that really bring our community fully into it, and that support all of our merchants and local businesses as well.
Yeah, yet another expression of South Texas culture. We have a tamalada, a taquiza as well. Just keep it coming. Keep it coming, Doc.
Right.
We're very good on the gastronomic sciences around here as well. Hey, and I got to let you go now. And I really appreciate your support in getting this on the air. And speaking of Pan de Campo, I was reminded of something.
We really appreciate you.
Yes, sir. I was reminded of the competitions at Most History, Museum of South Texas History, the Pan de Campo competitions they had on the grounds as well, especially during the fundraisers. Quick thought as I let you go. Because of speaking of envy and jealousy, I think the Valley is the envy of Texas. And since Texas is the number one in job creation, probably the nation, with Elon Musk here and all the people that he's hiring, the thousands of people at LNG, the shipyard that's coming, the refinery, your thought and how quickly we shift gears on the engineering side, either from water sciences, we got a desal plant, to the traditional fuel sciences, electrical, technical, cybersecurity, all this, how we quickly shift gears as a university to start pumping out engineers for all the high-tech jobs that are now here and the thousands that are on the way.
Well, here's the interesting thing. We produce enough engineers for those folks. The problem right now is that our engineers are going to Houston and to San Antonio and Austin and Houston in particular, and also Dallas. When I do alumni events at those places, we have engineers everywhere who would love to stay in the Valley, but they can't. And what SpaceX and what the LNG shipbuilding will do is help us keep those engineers right here at home, where your mamas and daddies want them, and where in many cases those kids want to be. And so, we'll expand our engineering programs. We're offering far more in Brownsville. The whole engineering you'll be able to do in Brownsville here, beginning this year. And so we'll expand that engineering program, but we have a lot of kids who want to do engineering who end up being very good engineers. And so being able to keep them here is really important. And so we're very grateful to all the new companies moving in.
Continued success, Dr. B. Again, thank you for your support. We'll look forward to our next conversation, brother. That's Dr. Guy Bailey, President, UTRGV. This is a 710 KURV Division I football Season 2 special for UTRGV. Are you in the market for a new Toyota or pre-owned Toyota? Look no further than Toyota Afar. They have extensive selection of Toyota cars and Toyota trucks and Toyota SUVs, along with exceptional customer service every step of the way. Number to call, 956-815-2285.
Hi, this is Congresswoman Monica De La Cruz. Are you having difficulty getting answers from federal agencies? My office is here to help. Call us at 956-800-6069 to share your issue, and we will be in touch. Team De La Cruz is here to serve you. God bless. Paid for with official funds from the office of Congresswoman De La Cruz.
Chamberlain Roofing and Waterproofing would like to meet you. A company that's been in business almost 130 years now. It's Chamberlain Roofing, Waterproofing, and it's in the name precisely what you need. Your building, your commercial site, your warehouse, multi-level building, whatever it is, you need to waterproof it, and it needs to be waterproof. Water's extremely heavy, especially when it comes down on us like some tropical system or a tropical torrent. That heavy water, it's pressing on those materials and that workmanship, no matter what type of building you have. Ask Chamberlain Roofing and Waterproofing to see if everything's okay. They know what to look for, and if everything is okay, Chamberlain will tell you you're in great shape. Call them back and whenever they say, like 2 years or whatever. This is the way they meet folks, and you can trust them. I know these people. These folks they have a culture of excellence and a culture of safety. And again, for free, they can check the commercial roofing systems, all of them. Just call them now at the following number. Call or text Chamberlain Roofing, Waterproofing. Again, free expert inspection of all of your roofing systems. Know where you're at. 956-655-6178.
Every year, nearly 8,000 pets come through the doors of Palm Valley Animal Society. Animals who need safety, care, and a second chance. At PVAS, we're committed to giving every dog and cat the compassion they deserve, from life-saving medical care to loving new homes. But we can't do it alone. Your support helps us protect the most vulnerable animals in the Rio Grande Valley and build a more humane community for all. Visit pvastx.org or our social media to adopt, donate, or get involved today. Together, we save lives.
Freedom is calling, and the savings are bigger than ever at the Toyota Far Freedom Sales Event. Drive home an all-new Tacoma for just $92 a month, a powerful Tundra for $177 a month, a stylish Camry for only $92 a month, or a versatile RAV4 for just $189 a month. Visit Toyota Far at 1625 West Interstate 2 in Far, shop online at toyotafar.com or call 956-815-2285.
Toyota Far, somos buena gente.
For victims of drunk and drug driving, your grief is unique, but you are not alone. You always have a place at MAD. Call the 24-hour victim helpline at 877-MAD-HELP or visit mad.org.
Fox News, I'm CJ Papa. Major surprise in the Sunshine State for Democratic Socialists. Fox's Dana Marie McNichol in Hannondale, Florida.
State Representative Angie Nixon defeating Alex Vidman with a grassroots campaign, delivering a major left-wing victory over an establishment Democrat. Vidman is a former national security official who was a key witness in President Trump's impeachment trial.
The winner, Angie Nixon, delivers this prediction to her opponent, Senator Ashley Moody, on CNN.
She doesn't care about anyone but herself. And so I look forward, Ashley Moody, to taking you on and to whooping you in November, and you will be calling me your senator.
It could take a few days for the official results to come out in the Alaska primary, but we do know incumbent Senator Dan S. Sullivan and Democrat Mary Peltola, a former representative, have advanced to the November election. America is listening to Fox News.
Your 710 KURV AccuWeather forecast. Partly sunny, hot this afternoon. Breezy too. Highs from the upper 90s to near 105 with the southeast winds at 10 to 20 miles an hour. Breezy this evening, otherwise partly cloudy and humid. The low in the lower 80s. Southeast winds still at 10 to 20 miles an hour. Sunshine for Thursday, becoming windier. Highs from 100 to 105. Mostly sunny. Breezy Friday. Highs again 100 to 105. I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Jason Caterina on the Valley's official weather station, 710 KURV.
Broadcasting from the Valley's commercial and fleet headquarters studio at PayneAutoGroup.com. You're listening to News Talk 710 KURV. The Sergio Show with Sergio Sanchez. Rapid fire headlines.
Wednesday edition of the Sergio Show. We're on the road at the Museum of South Texas History. Gorgeous facility. Downtown Edinburgh, across the street from the brand new courthouse. A few headlines, and we'll go to my friend and brother in Christ, Jack Ewing. So stand by. This is a season 2 football special, the special program we're broadcasting from Edinburgh. City of Mission is ready to start a search for a new city manager. The commission voted 3-2, and they're on the hunt now. JP Terrazas. I know JP and Andy Garcia. No, not the actor. They're the interim city managers for the City of Mission. A little something for, fans of UTRGV football. Over 3,000 students will be allowed to attend University of Texas Rio Grande Valley football games this season. An email being sent out to all the gang at the universities who wants to go to the games. Some Texas business news. There is growing opposition to build an ultra-high voltage power line, several lines, in far west Texas. That's because the owners have to surrender their land.
They're seen as a way to connect power generators, which are in rural parts of the state, to the big cities. But these lines are not sitting well with those whose land will be taken by the state for the project. Tom Keller is concerned that the lines could pose a national security threat.
Many of the routes in one of the lines would cross land held by foreign owners, covered by the Lone Star Infrastructure Protection Act.
Governor Greg Abbott has so far not commented on the debate. At one campaign event, he suggested the state needs some guidelines and guardrails on the expansion of power lines, but he says further action is up to the Public Utility Commission. Michael Board, News Talk 710 KURV.
The federal government's $1 billion buoy border barrier, and those cylindrical aluminum barriers, they weigh a ton each. Yeah, they're halfway done in the Rio Grande, they say. And something for all the gang in real estate tuning into KURV. State of Texas is bucking the national trend, bucking the national pullback in all cash home buying. Realtor.com has the full report showing that cash offers, cash transactions for homes. I find this can't be right, but hey, Realtor.com posted it. Cash only, cash transactions for homes, 4 out of 10. 40% of Texas home sales are cash sales. Wow. The time is 9:41. The Sergio Show on News Talk 710 KURV. We're broadcasting from the museum, the gorgeous Museum of South Texas History. And this is a KURV UTRGV Division I football season 2 broadcast special. Big thank you to the museum, my friend Frank, Dr. Francisco Guajardo. Love you, Frank. Museum of South Texas History makes it possible for us to be here. UTRGV, Dr. Guy Bailey, the university also co-sponsored us. And my dear friend and brother in Christ, Jack Ewing, CPA. That's the way that you should introduce yourself, Jack. Jack Ewing, CPA, when you meet people.
I don't think so.
How are you, man?
I'm doing great.
Thanks
Great to
again
be
for your
here.
support, bringing us here from
Yes.
Ewing Latta and Associates. That's how he pays the bills. That's how he puts food on the table. Thank you, Jesus, for that. Now, I need to start by mentioning an amazing surprise. 4th of July it's a Dakin or Daikin Park. For me, it's Minute Maid. Houston Astros baseball, July 4th. There with my 19-year-old son, we wanted to get a hot dog because we were losing. Losing pretty bad. I don't know, it was like 5-6-1, something like that. We were losing. I think at one point we were losing 7-2, but we were losing bad. Man, I forked over. We stayed at a nice hotel with a Texas-shaped swimming pool, and the tickets were in a nice location, and they're losing. Oh, well, let's get some junk food. I'm walking back to my seat, and there's Jack Ewing. My goodness. We're at the same section, same time, and we're up and walking around at the same time as well. What a game.
Amazing. Yeah, that came back and won in the bottom of the 10.
Yes, sir. Jordan Alvarez made it for us. And the fireworks show was a great memory.
Amazing.
Jack Ewing has deep roots at our university, Pan American back then.
Right.
Part of the, do I dare call it the golden years of Pan American baseball? Do I call it that?
It was an amazing decade in the 70s.
Yeah.
Amazing for baseball.
With your coach.
And all sports.
Yeah. You were telling me that Jack Ogletree, right? Or
Al Ogletree.
Al Ogletree.
Coach Ogletree.
Al Ogletree was a great recruiter for the
Amazing.
baseball season.
Amazing. Yeah, we used to. I played at Temple Junior College, and in college sports baseball, you have a fall season, which is just scrimmages, informal, but organized. And Coach Ogletree would invite Temple Junior College to come down and play his team in the fall. And I was playing at Temple, and I came down here and played, and I showed well against his team at that time, and they were just fresh off the World Series team and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And so he kept his eye on me and says, hey, if you don't sign, you're talking about through the draft and stuff, and says, I want you. So played that year at Temple, and sure enough, I came down here and enjoyed it, and now it's home.
What year was that, Jay?
That was that would have been the fall of 73.
Okay.
And,
how many playoff games or championships? I know. I remember walking past and seeing some trophies here and there that were from that era back in the early 70s.
In the 70s, the 71 team went to the World Series, and then every year thereafter, up to about 81 or so, we made the super regionals. The 2 years I played, my first year, we went to the super regionals. We went 63-7 that year. Kind of amazing. And guess what our home record was?
Undefeated?
49-1 was
almost there.
our that year. Pretty amazing. I don't think that'll ever be matched. I wish it would, but one thing that we'll probably never play 50 home baseball games. But we were 49-1, 63-7, and in the super regionals we ended up losing to Texas in the finals, and the winner of that game goes to the College World Series, and they were a great ball club, obviously, and they went to the World Series and they won it. So we got beat by the best, and but that was a magical year. Of course, the team is in the world in UTRGV, or UT Athletics World can't even talk Hall of Fame as a team, and we had our 50th anniversary last year, and all the guys, not all the guys, the ones that could, came down. We had about almost 15 of the guys came down for that reunion.
We were Bronx back then. Pan American,
Bronx.
right? Pan American University that eventually became
UTPA.
Pan Am, or
it became UTPA and then UTRGV.
UTRGV is 10 years old, as you heard in the interview. By the way, in case you missed any of these conversations, I always learn something new. Dr. Guy Bailey was the lead conversation from 9 to 9:30. Man, there were so many golden nuggets of information on the growth of the university and research over the past 10 years. You need to go back and take a listen to it. You can do so by going to YouTube Live, 710 KURV, X, and Facebook. Rewind and go listen to that fascinating conversation with Dr. Guy Bailey. We are so far. It's no longer our past, the perception, the labels even the insults that were labeled at Pan American. I don't remember those anymore. They're so far back. I'm not even going to mention any of those. They're so far. They're no longer in the mental rearview mirror. No. And it's a new era at our university, UTRGV.
A great time to be a part of the program.
Yeah,
it's
and
amazing.
Still with excellent athletics. And by the way, a conversation that I had with the athletic director, Chase Conk, is coming up at 10 o'clock this morning. He'll have a chance to review all that. But we have expanded athletics. Of course, a great baseball team. We have a track and field, swimming programs, all that. And part of that is a result of having a very successful UTRGV Vaquero football team. Jack Ewing, CPA from Ewing, Lada and Associates. He has a ministry that helps the baseball players. We have a Bible study, a prayer group. He'll have a chance to meet some of the boys that are coming back for this season, but also with the coaches at UTRGV football. So tell me about that.
Well, this started, this will be our third year, excuse me, and it's called a Coaches Outreach, and so it's an organized Bible study, and it's held mainly in the high schools. And so you get a lay person such as myself to lead coaches in this Bible study, and they're kind of experimented with me because they knew I had a relationship with the university, and I was already with the baseball boys with the Bible study, and so they allowed us to go ahead and tiptoe into the university, and the university was very embracing, and so we have this will be our third year. We're going to take a walk through the Old Testament in the fall. And it's amazing. Out of I think there was 12 12 football coaches last year, and 11 of them attended. And I was like floored by that. And I can't even begin to imagine these coaches who are believers, and they spend this hour every week together studying God's Word. The influence they have on that 100+ student athletes they have. And that just warms your heart to know that those kids, and they know because they know that we meet every week, and for them to know that they have godly coaches is it's amazing, and that doesn't soften their coaching at all. But I'm just saying is that they know that those kids, that the coaches are invested in them. These coaches don't want to be transactional coaches with these players. They want to be transformational coaches. And in today's environment with the NIL and stuff, and these kids jumping in and out of the portal, used to you had a kid for 4 years, maybe 3 years or whatever, and you were able to invest and really make an impact on their lives, just like Coach Ogletree used to do with us. But when these kids come in for 1 year, it's one and done, and they're gone and leaving for whatever the reasons might be. It's hard to cross that bridge from transactional to transformational, but these coaches do.
My friend Jack Ewing, is a local CPA, Ewing Lada Associates is his firm, if you want to look him up. He has a continuing ministry, several years old now. He does this Bible study and this prayer group with a baseball team at UTRGV with our Vaqueros. But now we got football season coming up. The coaches, like last year, as he said, 11 out of 12 coaches showing up for a weekly conversation, Bible study, prayer group, like seek ye first the kingdom of God, and then everything else will come to you. We're hoping that maybe a few more wins come our way as well. And we're getting started with this new season. Have you had a chance to maybe assess, because of the portal and the plucking of talent here and there and kids jumping or coming this way, have you had a chance to assess with some of the coaches how we look, what we look like this year going into season 2?
Football, baseball?
Yeah, football first.
Well, I think we got a good group coming back. I mean, we lost a few kids, obviously, and we picked up some really good talent. Of course, I haven't seen them play, and they're not proven in the orange uniform yet. But I'm sure there will be. But we've got some guys from some big name schools that have come here, and that's where I think the portal is really a great thing, because you have some great athletes who are sitting on the bench, not getting their opportunity in some of these schools because of other talent, but yet they're very good, and they're going to come down here and have a chance to showcase their talent.
There we go.
And I think that's wonderful that there is that opportunity, because some other times when you were locked into a school for 3 or 4 years and you really had no hope somebody was above you, and that's kind of the way the cards were dealt. But this gives them an opportunity to be somewhat transient. Now, when those that are just chasing the money, I have my own opinion on some of that stuff. But some of these guys, it's really an opportunity for them to get on the field and live their dream that they had when they were a little kid.
One of the added benefits I had not considered by UTRGV starting up a Division I football program, get a chance to play, get some statistics out there, and maybe show recruiters in the near future. That's awesome. Okay, on the baseball team, I know they don't start till early next year, but right now they'll be, going through the rounds and exercising and all that. So what do you know about the baseball team? Because it's a pretty good team.
We're shaping up really good. Coach Matlock and his crew has done a great job. They've gone out. They've got some really good guys coming back. Some of our stars from last year are back. They didn't go chase the portal. They stayed loyal and coming back. I think Armani is coming back for his 4th year, I think. One guy, Easton, and all these guys go to the Bible study. He's coming back, and he's a mainstay at third base and good stick. But Coach Matlock and I have talked many times. It's pitching. Good pitching beats good hitting every time. And we got to have the pitching. And we've got some really good guys coming back from last year, got some good experience. From what I'm understanding from Coach Matlock, we got some good guys coming in through the portal and otherwise. And so it all depends. But we've got to have pitching. We can go out there and score 10 runs, but if we give up 11, there you go.
Did you hear that, Astros? Did you hear that? Yeah. We already missed the trade deadline. Chihuahuas, we didn't get another pitcher. Jack Ewing, my friend, he's a CPA. He's the director of Iron Sharpens Iron Ministries. That's a Bible study with our baseball players here at UTRGV, and Bible study, also prayer group. And how important is that for these? I call them kids. I mean, they're much younger than I am. And you and I, they're kids to us. Like, how important is this get together on a week-to-week basis?
When you say that, I kid because most of these kids, I'm probably older than some of their grandparents. And I forget how young they are, but they're young men. Sergio, these guys they come to my house, and I feed them, and we gather in a circle in our living room, and we just talk conversation based on scripture and so forth. And these guys really open up, and every one of them carries some baggage when they come through the front door of my house. And we talk through some of those things, and whether the baggage is personal in their home life or whatever it may be in the dugout, locker room, those kind of baggage things. And it's amazing the things that can get ironed out. And they're different perspectives. When we take this and use scripture and flip it into a spiritual thing, look at God's view on it. I mean, go through the Sermon on the Mount or whatever we might be doing, that these great applications to their lives where they can see these troubles they may be going through. When they look at it through the lens of Christ, they can see it a whole different way than the lens of the world. In the world, there's so much noise out there that these kids hear. It's 24/7. I mean, it's almost ridiculous that even when you go to sleep, you got to have white noise to go to bed.
Yeah.
So there's always 24/7 noise going in their head, and this is a time that we really try to emphasize that take some time, go fishing with God. Just listen to the quietness of the moment. Let him speak to you. All this noise drowns out so much, and it distorts the truth from fiction. And God's word is the stable truth that they need to measure by.
This is a great tool, these smartphones, but the constant enchufe, the connection to X and Instagram, all the information and media out there. I find myself, I start getting, because it's overwhelming. And it's really sad and pathetic. Many of these reports, it really can get you down. Just turn it off and just pray. Yeah. And ask and thank the Lord, first of all, for every day that he gave you. I thank God for your ministry, reaching out to these Whitacles. So, did you say 1 minute, Freddie? Okay, sir. Yeah, we got about last 60 seconds. Thank you for your support, for getting us out here. He's an alum of Pan American Baseball, the Bronx, the golden years of baseball in the early 70s. What was your final ERA as a pitcher?
Maybe 2 something.
Okay, that's pretty good. Were you a traditional pitcher where You really stunk as a batter as well?
They didn't let us bat.
They didn't let us they didn't let you bat.
They didn't let us get near the bat.
Just like,
not at all.
All right, just like the American League. So that means you never had a chance to like hit a home run or something like that. Or...
Junior college, I was bat, but when I transitioned over here, that was the time they transitioned into having a designated hitter for the pitchers.
Yeah.
So I got to bat a little bit in junior college, but not down here.
Jack, thank you.
Keep
in touch, brother.
Here. Great to be here.
It's my friend Jack Ewing, CPA, Ewing, Lutta and Associates, and he's the director of Iron Sharpens Iron Ministry for our players, our baseball players, and the coaches at UTRGV football. This is a KURV UTRGV Division I football Season 2 special. We're broadcasting from the Museum of South Texas History in Edinburgh. Are you in the market for a new Toyota or pre-owned Toyota? Look no further than Toyota of Far. They have extensive selection of Toyota cars and Toyota trucks and Toyota SUVs, along with exceptional customer service every step of the way. Number to call, 956-815-2285.
We're out of bottled water again.
That's nuts. I just bought a case of water last time I went shopping.
I'm not drinking tap water.
We need a better solution.
Call Culligan.
Hey, Culligan man.
Stop buying little bottles of water at the store. A Culligan drinking water system makes an almost unlimited supply of fresher, cleaner water that tastes pure. It's bottled water without the bottles. For better water, go to CulliganRGV.com or call 956-399-1780.
Be sure to tune in Friday mornings during the 8 a.m. hour for The Most History Minute, where we bring the stories and history of South Texas to life. Brought to you by the Museum of South Texas History. Visit the museum at 200 North Klosner Boulevard in Edinburgh and discover the stories that shaped our region.
Improve your overall health and enjoy a better quality of life with Dr. T's Primary Care. You're trying to set some new weight goals. If you're too moody or stressed out or just tired and trying to get more sleep, Dr. T's Primary Care can help you with all of that and more. If you're worried about things like low testosterone, Dr. T is a primary care provider from the sniffles to the flu and also offer menopause treatment, peptide treatment, and IV vitamin infusions. McAllen area, call 956-803-0058 and in Harlingen, 956-368-5247. That's drtsprimary.care.com.
The Wednesday Sergio Show, broadcasting from the Museum of South Texas History on the Square in downtown Edinburgh to celebrate Season 2 of Division I football at UTRGV. We'll get a chance to hear from UTRGV President Dr. Guy Bailey, reviewing 10 years of explosive expansion and success in new academic and sports programs and top-tier research. This KURV Ambassador broadcast made possible by the Museum of South Texas History, Iron Sharpens Iron Ministries, and UTRGV.
History is unfolding, and you're listening to it on News Talk 710 KURV, Edinburgh, McAllen, Harlingen, Brownsville.
Two very different Democrats. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. On the ballot in Florida in November, one is a progressive, the other's not.
I reject socialism. I'm a capitalist. We'll see how Florida's voters sort that out.
David Jolly used to be a Republican in Congress. He switched parties and won the Democratic primary for governor and will take on Congressman Byron Donalds, who won the GOP nomination.
Tonight, we put aside our differences. Tonight, we are one united Republican Party.
As for the progressive who won in Florida, it's Angie Nixon getting the Democratic nomination for U.S. Senate.
We deserve to thrive, not just survive.
State Representative Angie Nixon defeating Alex Vidman with a grassroots campaign, delivering a major left-wing victory over an establishment Democrat. Vidman is a former national security official who was a key witness in President Trump's impeachment trial. Nixon won by double digits despite just under $1 million compared to Vidman's $16 million. She'll now face an uphill battle in November against Republican Senator Ashley Moody.
That's Fox's Dana Marie McNichol. President Trump just wrote on Truth Social, Vidman's loss was gratifying, calling him a treasonous creep. He also called Angie Nixon a radical left lunatic who can't speak or think properly. In another Trump post, he endorsed Ryan Elijah, the Republican who defeated Congressman Corey Mills in a Florida GOP primary, writing, he told Mills to get out of the race, but he wouldn't listen. Mills becomes the 11th House lawmaker to lose a primary this year. In yet another post, the president delayed new 50% tariffs on Canada as they work out a new trade deal, adding,
the great Keystone XL pipeline, long ago killed by sleepy Joe Biden, may be awoken from the grave.
The pipeline, of course, would have connected heavy crude oil sources in Canada to U.S. refineries, but with pressure from environmentalists, President Biden axed the project.
That's Fox's Alexandria Hoff at the White House. America's listening to Fox News.
When I hit my 50s, I felt like things were slowing down.
This is Sandra's Metamucil story.
I started taking Metamucil for digestion, but had no idea it would impact so much more. Not only did Metamucil help me feel more regular, but my heart health saw the benefits too.
Metamucil, one simple routine, 4 health benefits. Digestive health starts here. Go to metamucil.com for more details.
Identity theft can cost more than you think. Drained investment accounts, stolen tax returns, lost wages, expenses for lawyers. It's a lot. That's why LifeLock is backed by the $1 Million Protection Package, which covers up to $1 million for stolen funds, fees, and experts and lawyers, and out-of-pocket expenses. Don't face the burden of identity theft alone. Protect your future and finances with LifeLock. Join now. Save up to 30% off your first year with promo code BECK at LifeLock.com. 1-800-LifeLock, promo code BECK. LifeLock.com. Terms to apply.
Well, Florida's Senate race gets a lot of attention. There were 2 other primaries. In Wyoming, Congresswoman Harriet Hageman won it and is favored in a very Republican state to be elected in November to replace retiring GOP Senator Cynthia Lummis, while in Alaska,
Republican Senator Dan Sullivan and Democratic former Congresswoman Mary Peltola advanced to November's general election on Tuesday, setting the stage for what's expected to be an expensive race and a fight for a seat that could determine the balance of power in the U.S. Senate.
That's Fox's Ted Linder. Peltola finished first ahead of Senator Sullivan. 2 others also advanced in Alaska for a ranked choice voting contest in November. It is day 2 for a Meta trial that could last 6 weeks. 29 states have sued in the social media case, the parent company of Instagram and Facebook.
The states accuse Meta of using addictive features like infinite scrolling, personalized recommendations, and constant notifications to keep young users coming back, even as the company knew about the potential for serious harm, including anxiety, depression, and sleep problems. Outside court, a group of advocates and parents unveiled a banner with the names of nearly 400 children they say died from social media-related harm.
Fox's Claudia Cowan in Oakland. Meta calls the claims unsubstantiated. Now an update on the death of actress Hayden Panettiere, who was only 36.
A newly released police report shows her on and off again boyfriend, Brian Hickerson, and his brother were at the Greenville, South Carolina Airbnb where the 36-year-old died over the weekend. Narcan was also reportedly found on scene. Police say Hickerson showed officers a bag of medication the actress was on, which appeared to include 9 different drugs.
That's Fox's Todd Pyro. The cause of death has not been determined yet. On Wall Street, we're seeing some big gains this morning after 3 straight sell-offs. The Dow's up 355 points. The Nasdaq's gaining 112. I'm Dave Anthony, and this is Fox News.
Hair Volume from New Nordic will make your hair look thick and healthy. Hair Volume is available online at Amazon and NewNordicUSA.com or in the hair care aisle at your local CVS.
Your 710 KURV AccuWeather forecast. Partly sunny, hot this afternoon. Breezy 2, highs from the upper 90s to near 105 with the southeast winds at 10 to 20 miles an hour. Breezy this evening, otherwise partly cloudy and humid. The low in the lower 80s. Southeast winds still at 10 to 20 miles an hour. Sunshine for Thursday, becoming windier. Highs from 100 to 105. Mostly sunny, breezy Friday. Highs again 100 to 105. I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Jason Caterina on the Valley's official weather station, 710 KURV.
Sign Depot, Sign Depot, Sign Depot.
That is so annoying. Promise me you'll stop.
I'm promising the best prices in town at the Sign Depot USA. That's what I'm promising you. Yard signs under $3.
Yeah?
4x8 banners for $99.
No way.
4x8 campaign signs for under $18.
Nice.
Logos, wall murals, truck lettering, booster clubs, government signs, yada, yada, yada.
And you promise to never make another annoying commercial?
I never said that. Give us a call at 687-SIGN, that's 687-7446, or visit us at SignDepotUSA.com.
When you're finally off the clock after a long day, dishes put away, kids asleep, feet kicked up, heartburn. Don't let heartburn take over your hard-earned moment. Quick, Alka-Seltzer. Nothing works faster for heartburn relief. Alka-Seltzer effervescent tablets begin neutralizing stomach acid in seconds, so you can get back to your one more episode marathon. Quick, Alka-Seltzer. Because nothing works faster for heartburn relief. Use as directed.
Broadcasting from the Valley's commercial and fleet headquarters studio at PayneAutoGroup.com. You're listening to News Talk 710 KURV. From the Radio United Broadcast Center, this is the Sergio Show. Talking about the news headlines and topics that affect you. And now, the Sergio Show with Sergio Sanchez.
You're listening to KURV Special Edition. We're broadcasting from the Museum of South Texas History here on Town Square, downtown Edinburgh, across the street from the gorgeous tall glass tower or courthouse. Bye, Jack. Bless you, brother. It's KURV UTRGV Division I Football Season 2 Special. I want to say a special thank you to the folks who make it possible for us to be here. I love broadcasting from this facility. I hope this can be an annual tradition as long as possible. Thank you to my friend Frank, my buddy Frank, Dr. Francisco Guajardo. He's the director of the Museum of South Texas History, and they are one of a handful of co-sponsors making it possible that we're broadcasting today. Thank you to Most History. Come and visit this gorgeous facility. We'll get a chance to speak with Dr. Francisco Guajardo here in just a few minutes. Thank you to Jack Ewing, CPA from Ewing, Latta and Associates. Jack is a regular participant. Anything related to UTRGV, the athletics, or some of the other programs, he's always there, especially on the ministry side, wanting to emphasize the importance of seeking first the kingdom of God, making sure you start the day correctly, get your feet off the bed, make sure to say thank you. Thank you, Lord. Look to heaven. Thank you. For you guys who believe, you guys who are atheists or don't believe in that, okay, that's fine. You have a nice day. But you start the day, thank the Lord first. Put yourself on his real track. And he has a great ministry. Iron Sharpens Iron Ministry. And has a Bible study prayer with a baseball team, UTRGV, Vaquero baseball team, and with UTRGV coaches as well. They're getting started with that. Thank you, Jack. Lord bless you, brother. For this ministry that you do. Thank you for supporting us and being here today. Big thank you to Dr. Guy Bailey, president of UTRGV, his office making it possible for us to be here. These conversations, as I mentioned earlier, they're full of nuggets, golden nuggets. That's how I describe it to my news team. In these extended conversations that are 12, 15, and in this case, they're a little longer conversations. There's always something in there that is a tidbit of information that you did not know, I did not know, you learned something. That's what I love about talk radio. Not only KURV and some of my friends, the national hosts, but every now and then, like my friend Michael Berry, 6 p.m. Great interviews, great insight, all these social. And I appreciate all of y'all who listen to talk radio for that, for the insight, for the information that is interesting, but now more than ever, relevant, salient. Here in the Valley with KURV, I thank our business supporters because it's business news. It's news that matters more. Other folks do the standard daily reports on a traffic crash or crime or something like that. Here at KURV, I thank our supporters, our business audience, for allowing us to focus on the business news. Now more than ever, the prosperity and opportunity that we see in the Rio Grande Valley, especially at the driver, which is the Port of Brownsville. And I'm so blessed. I'm so amazed that I get to speak with you on a daily basis about things like this. You, Dr. Guy Bailey, UTRGV, our president at our university, shared with us how our university connects and is connecting with the rapidly expanding economy of the RGV. Never seen before. We got engineering programs that are going to be meeting the demand of all this industry that's coming to South Texas. We are broadcasting today's KURV UTRGV special on 710 KURV, YouTube, X, and Facebook. And later in the day, producer Zach and producer Joe will chop up all the video, put it on 710 KURV, our LinkedIn page. There are golden nuggets of information, especially with Dr. Guy Bailey, who was the lead information. If you join us online now, you can rewind about an hour and listen to that conversation with Dr. Bailey from UTRGV. We are functioning we, UTRGV, are functioning as a Tier 1 research university. Tier 1. I mean, just a few years back, I recall a conversation with Dr. Guy Bailey where we were less than Tier 3, Level 3 research. And my goodness, they put the throttle at maximum. And then within just a few years, they are now functioning as Tier 1. What does that mean for the university, for businesses coming to the area? What does that mean for the Valley, for our students and the careers that they hope to get? Go listen to that conversation with Dr. Guy Bailey from UTRGV, our president. That and other great information from him. Jack Ewing, CPA, was with me, again, talking about the golden years of Pan American baseball and the reach out to the athletes, baseball players, and our coaches as well. And again, I'll have a chance to speak with Dr. Francisco Guajardo, my buddy, Frank, as I lovingly call him. He's the director of the Museum of South Texas History. He's coming up in just a little bit. I want to share with you right now another conversation I had earlier this week on Monday. And I love the Guayabera. That's an awesome shirt. Chase Conk, the director of athletics at UTRGV. Let me share that conversation with you again on the expansion of athletics at our university. UTRGV football season number 2 is right around the corner. Chase Conk is Senior Vice President, Director of Athletics at our university, UTRGV. Welcome back to the studio, Chase.
Thanks, Sergio.
Glad you made some time for us today. You have been leading this athletic program at a time of immense, impressive change and growth. So I asked Chase, come back to the studio and let's review. I think folks should know how much the athletic program at our university has expanded, in large part because we have football. We have Division I football. And when you get Division I football, well, we also need to fund other programs. Been using the natatorium quite a bit, I understand. So review best you can some of the new programs we've seen over the past 2-3 years as a result of the fact that we have Division I.
Yeah,
well.
No, it's an exciting time. And this past year, about a year ago, when I met with all of our student athletes, we have about 410, 415 student athletes that represent UTRGV across 18 sports. And I shared with them that I thought 25-26 could be the year of the Vaqueros. Didn't know that it would be as good as we experienced, but knew we were going to experience some first, right? Knew that we were going to kick off Division I football for the very first time. Knew we were going to open up some brand new facilities that we had worked so hard for the last several years. But what we didn't probably expect was to have the success that we had and to see 5 conference championships over 13 months. We have never in our history of our athletics department had that kind of success competitively. To see the support that we had this past year, we had over 228,000 fans come through our gates this past athletic season with our spectator sports. When you look back, Sergio, 7 years ago, that number was 45,000 coming through our gates. Wow. And so whether it's the new programs, obviously football, women's swim and dive, you mentioned the natatorium. We hosted our 3rd conference championship at the natatorium this past year, which is a huge economic impact on the Valley. You bring in 17, 18 teams from across the country. So there were some firsts, but it was a year that we saw a lot of things come together for us. And as you mentioned, football, of course, that's all the buzz. But we wanted to use football as the catalyst to elevate our entire athletics department. We used it as something that can galvanize the community, that could bring our fans and our alumni back and bring them together. And we saw that support from start to finish. We had a record year in attendance for volleyball. So many people thought that football was going to take away from the other sports. It has done nothing but enhanced our other programs and the experience and the fan engagement. So the list goes on, but so proud of our student athletes, so proud of our coaches. And it starts with our president. I mean, Dr. Guy Bailey, when you have a visionary like that, he is truly the greatest leader in all of higher education. We try to keep up with him. He sets the standard. So it was fun to be able to deliver to him, our leadership at the institution, of course, our fans and alumni, really an incredible year.
Chase Conk is Director of Athletics, UTRGV. Our athletics programs, boy, they have expanded rapidly over the past couple of years, 2-3 years. And now I want to review what you mentioned, 5 conference championships. Like, name the sports. Was it track and field?
It started with baseball. We won our first Southland championship in spring of 25. Then we come back in the fall. Our volleyball team won a regular season Southland Conference championship. For the very first time, women's indoor track and field won a conference championship, and Nayla Harris sent her to the national championships during the indoor season.
Nice.
And then you look to the spring, we won 2 golf championships for the very first time and advanced to the NCAA regionals, and actually sent a young man to the NCAA national championships for the first time since 1978. So competitively, and then of course with football, right? It was the best start of any Division I program in history. I mean, you got to go back 50, 60 years and look at new programs that have been started at the Division I level. No one has won 9 games. No one has won 6 Division I games, and certainly to have 7 straight sellouts and the type of support that we had. What Coach Bush has done, our young men, our assistant coaches, to come out the gate and have the best start ever for a brand new program. Is pretty special. And then you look at basketball. We had the best combined basketball seasons that we've ever had, going back to our legacy institution, some 70, 80 years. Both programs combined won 40 games. Women went to the second round of the WNIT. Men lost in a heartbreaker in the semifinals to McNeese in 3 overtimes. So
Wow.
we talk about the championships, but as you look at sport by sport, maybe we didn't win a championship in that particular program, but the progress and the advancement that those coaches are making with their respective programs is certainly impressive.
Man, I was joking with Chase off air. Only thing missing is putting the chess team under your department.
We try to keep up with them.
Yeah.
They really set the standard.
Well, couple of push-ups, boys. Okay, now go ahead and play. That's what's required. Just a couple of push-ups to get started with that. Chase Conk is the director of athletics at UTRGV. Impressive gains in our athletics programs. How many did you say? 15, 16 different sports?
We have 18.
18
sports and about
right
410 student athletes.
Anything new coming on the horizon?
Right now, our focus is football and women's swim and dive, right?
Okay.
Those are our 2 newest sports. When you add a sport, it is a big deal. And to do it at the Division I level, you want to make sure it's done a certain way, the right way, and they have to be nurtured. And so right now we're focused on continuing to nurture those 2 programs. But I do think sport expansion at some point is in our future. But when we do it, we want to make sure we've done it the way that we've done football and swim and dive.
Is pickleball a collegiate sport, or is that just for old people?
I wouldn't say it's for old people, but it's it is not yet a sanctioned, adopted Division I sport.
I always hear pickleball this, pickleball that. Okay, fine. How many of our athletes at UTRGV come to us from RGV schools? Like 50%, 75%?
It's not that high. About 1 out of every 5 are from the Rio Grande Valley. And then that's across all 18 of our sports, which is really an impressive number. I mean, when you think about competing at the Division I level, finding really good Division I talent that's going to compete against the country, right? There's 360 Division I schools across the U.S. But to have 1 out of every 5 represent the RGV is a really strong number. And then we have about 50 to 60% from the state of Texas. And then any given year, we'll have 20 or 25% international student athletes coming from all across the country, or all across the world. Wow. So it is a very diverse group of young people. And that's what makes it so special, right? There's so many cultures, so many backgrounds, and they all come together to represent one university.
Yeah. Just curious. Scholarships. How many of the athletes that we have in all of our system, how many are here on scholarship, international, local, whatever?
Yeah, probably 80%, if I had to throw a number out. There are walk-ons, right? There are student athletes that come that maybe aren't on athletics aid, but they're also very fortunate that they probably are getting institutional aid through their academics and their work in the classroom. But probably about 80% are on some type of athletics aid.
That's impressive. How do you recruit for something like that? You must have, like the recruitment team to scout this out online, go watch videos, go visit markets, things like that.
Yeah, it's a coach's head coach is truly a CEO of a company, right? And they're in it for kids. They're in it because they love young people. But when you lead a program, you're responsible for everything, hiring a staff, recruiting student athletes, turning over every stone to make sure you're finding the best student athlete, the best fit, somebody that's going to want to be in the Rio Grande Valley, represent the Valley and UTRGV and play obviously at a high level. And so our coaches go all across the Valley, all across the state and the country and even the world to find talent. And it's a process. You talk about whether it's watching video or getting on the recruiting trail, jumping in a car, driving to go see the young man or young woman and their family. that's a big piece of the puzzle as far as having success.
Chase Conk is Director of Athletics, UTRGV. I brought him into the studio to do a quick recap of our athletic programs at our university. Of course, Season 2, UTRGV Vaquero football is around the corner, the corner, and we have a college sports culture now that is growing, thriving in South Texas. And as we see the other sports grow as well. Season 2, what do you think? Will it be as impressive as Season 1? Could it be?
It could be. You talk about the support. Now, I'll give you one more statistic. 7 years ago, so we track our merchandise sales, right? 7 years ago, we had about $500,000 in merchandise sales. So that's UTRGV Vaqueros branded gear. This past year, we hit almost $2.6 million in merchandise sales. So that is a great indicator that you talk about that college, campus feel, that college town, the college community concept. It's there. As we look at the second season for football, we're still in our infancy, right? We're still in our infancy, and to come out of the gates as quickly as Coach Bush and the guys did last year was super impressive. But the schedule's harder. We only play one non-Division I opponent. We'll open up with UT Permian Basin on August 29th here in 2 weeks. Okay. But we have 11 Division I opportunities, and one of those is an FBS opponent in UTSA. To be only in our second year and to play an FBS program is a big deal. So we'll go up to San Antonio in week 2, Labor Day weekend, and play in the Alamo Dome. And that'll be a huge challenge for us, right? That program is obviously much more mature. They're a division up in FBS as we compete at the Division I FCS level. But then after that, we settle in with 10 straight Division I FCS opponents. We have got a great conference slate at home, but it'll be challenging. And that's my word to our supporters, our fans in the Valley, is that this is still a process, and we still have to continue to nurture this program. And I have all the confidence in the world in Coach Bush, and that we're going to have a lot of fun and be successful. But we have to keep in mind we're still in year 2.
This much talked about portal, where kids can jump from school to school, get more money over here, things like that. Has that helped? Is that an opportunity for us to get more talent? How are we benefiting or being hurt by it? That portal.
It works both ways, and it's really something you have to embrace, right? Because it is here, and student athletes have the freedom of movement that they didn't have a few years ago. And so we're going to lose some student athletes that come to UTRGV. They knock it out of the park. They have a great career, and they're able to move up. But then at the same time, we have to celebrate those success stories and student athletes that are looking at a place where they can develop and sharpen their trade. UTRGV is a great place for them. We can't be stuck in the old ways. The days of seeing a student athlete in the game day program for 4 or 5 years, those days are past us. It is a different world out there. Our coaches have to compete against that. But at the same time, we have to celebrate it, really have a next man up mentality. And when we lose those student athletes, celebrate it. So hopefully we can recruit the next star.
Sounds to me like we've got a great potential university recruitment magnet with the football team, with the great athletics program, the swimming programs, diving all the track and field that's always very successful, baseball, to complement, because we're on the map now when it comes to the economy, thanks to Elon, and SpaceX and the shipyard, all these wonderful things that are taking place. Economically speaking, we're now on the map. People paying attention. Oh, look at UTRGV, and the rankings on the academic performances as well. Amazing. They're taking place. It's good stuff. But you mentioned the $2.5 million in sales of merchandise for UTRGV. I think a sizable portion of that was the foam hat that I got last year, and I posted on social media there at one of the games. And I want one of those. I'm going to go get me one of those. Tell me they sell that over at the store, that Guayabera.
They do.
The orange Guayabera.
One of our good corporate partners, Vaquero Outfitters, has a great selection, Sergio. So you can find a good one there.
Man. I'm there. Hey, thanks for stopping by.
No, thanks for having me.
Have a great season, too. We look forward to all the games. Continued success, brother.
Thank you, Sergio.
Go again.
Appreciate all y'all's support.
Yes, sir. Senior Vice President, UTRGV, and Director of Athletics. That's Chase Conk. Be well, brother.
Thank you.
This is News Talk 710 KURV UTRGV Division I Football Season 2 Special. Big thank you to the Museum of South Texas History for their support. We're broadcasting at Most History. Thank you to my friend Jack Ewing, CPA from Ewing Lott Associates. He's an alum from the golden years of Pan American baseball. Thank you so much. Thank you to Dr. Guy Bailey, UTRGV. That was Chase Conk, by the way. He's the athletics director for our university. Vaquero football, you'll be able to hear the play-by-play on Ultra 90.1 FM. Also, our sister station in Laredo, Texas, Pure Country, 95.7 FM, Pure Country in Laredo. That's where you'll have a chance to hear on the radio. And yes, online, the simulcast online, Pure Country, 95.7 in Laredo, and here in the Valley, Ultra 90.1 FM. The Sergio Show on 710 KURV. Thank you to our supporters. Thank you to Chamberlain Roofing and Waterproofing. Thank you to South Texas Buick GMC. Big thank you to Lone Star National Bank.
Coming up after the Sergio Show, stay tuned for the Dana Lash Show starting at 11, followed by the Brian Kilmeade Show at 2 on News Talk 710 KURV and on the Radio Potterme app.
Back to Drive has officially arrived at South Texas Buick GMC. Drive home in a new GMC Sierra for just $330 a month, or enjoy a stylish Buick Encore GX starting at only $190 a month. Plus, take thousands of dollars off on selected GMC and Buick models. Visit SouthTexasGMC.com or call 661-5000. Celebrating over 20 years with you. Sherry Road exit between McAllen and Mission. South Texas Buick GMC. Not the biggest, just the best.
This segment brought to you by City of McAllen. Refresh 50/50.
The UTRGV Vaqueros are back at home on Ultra 90.1, where you hear play-by-play. Congratulations, Vaqueros.
You want it or
Hi,
don't want
this
it?
is Congresswoman Monica De La Cruz. Are you having difficulty getting answers from federal agencies? My office is here to help. Call us at 956-800-6069 to share your issue, and we will be in touch. Team De La Cruz is here to serve you. God bless. Paid for with official funds from the office of Congresswoman De La Cruz.
Thank you, Harlingen, and thank you, Rio Grande Valley, for listening today to News Talk 710 KURV, the Valley's official home for Fox News Radio.
News as well, and I'll give every morsel, every second, as much as I can, all the time to my buddy Frank. I love my friend Frank, Dr. Francisco Guajardo. He's the boss at Museum of South Texas History. And before I go pay some bills, Frank, say hello real quick. We're broadcasting on Facebook, broadcasting on YouTube. All
Okay,
that stuff.
so good morning to everybody.
morning. Yeah.
Francisco Guajardo from the Museum of South Texas History. Sergio and I think, met each other when Sergio was a cub reporter. He just made his way down from, I don't know, Houston, I think.
Yeah.
You know, he came in as an urban boy thinking that he could conquer rural America. And so we have had this on and off dialogue for probably close to 20 years. And so I appreciate
Maybe
that.
a little longer than that.
It could be longer.
There, yeah.
It could be longer than that.
25 plus.
It could be 25.
You and I met when you were doing the Llano Grande effort.
Yes.
In the Delta, at Cal Chelsea effort, sending wet girls from here to Ivy League schools.
Yes.
Way back
Yes.
then, way back
So there was
then.
an article that was published by, we used to call it the Wire. So it was the Associated Press. The Associated Press, way back in 90, maybe 96, 97, wrote an article on the Ed Cauchosa story. And so I was right at the center of that, the Ed Cauchosa Ivy League story. And so it was as a result of that we got a lot of media attention. And I think that shortly after that, you landed in the Valley.
Yeah.
When did you land in the Valley?
Actually, I landed in Delia and I, my wife and I, we married young. We landed here in 93. And I started at KURV December 4th of 95.
Okay.
December 4th of 1995.
Yeah, so shortly after that, I think that you and
That's
I
when you
would have
started.
connected. And I think that the studios were here on Klausner.
Yes, right down the
Yeah.
street. They're
Yeah.
still there. I mean,
They're
it's
still- yeah.
it's it could serve as a nuclear shelter, I suppose.
Is that right?
It's,
Yeah.
it's rated for a Cat 5 hurricane as well. Not like that we're going to get one. I hope not.
And
Never
I
around here.
remember,
Yeah.
you know, Davis used to call me in for this and for that, and so we'd have some friendly banter on there.
Yeah.
And he has a certain technique of interviewing.
Yeah.
You know, he sort of controls it, right? Because you're the guy who, but I wanted to control the interview.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so I always like try to get a word in edgewise, and it was hard because Davis is kind of a long form storyteller.
You know the solution to Davis?
Yeah.
Because Davey, I love you. Actually, he's asleep right now. He won't be waking up to about 11:30 or noon. He suffers from severe ADD, or you know, he gets distracted real easy. We bring a squirrel to the studio in a little cage, and when he gets like off message, we just show him the squirrel, and he comes back.
Yeah.
Focuses.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, we can talk about.
Yeah. No,
By the way, what are we talking about today? And when we come back here in a little bit.
Well, I think that I think up to whatever agenda you want, but there's a number of things that we can talk about today.
Some football related, like the
there's some football.
you blew my mind last year.
In fact, no, this is what I prepared for. I wanted to talk about UTRGV football, but the historical antecedents of that, because Noelle, you know, who's my assistant, she went and she pulled all kinds of yearbooks from the Edinburgh College.
Okay.
In the 1920s, where they were already playing football here.
Yeah.
In the 1920s, there was the Edinburgh High School that had a football team, and there was a college that also fielded a football team in the 1920s.
Okay. How far back are we going to rewind in history? Since I always learn something, we go all the way back to the Aztecs when they played with human heads in soccer and basketball.
I mean, do you want to go that far back?
No, I really would prefer not. No, that's kind of.
We can go back to the Caral, 5,000 years ago, parallel to the Egyptians.
No, we'll try to keep it around. Let's keep it around a century or so. How about that?
Let's do it 20.
Dr. Francisco Guajardo, he is the director. He's the leader. He's the CEO. What is the title? President?
The CEO.
CEO of Museum of South Texas History. Most history here in downtown Edinburgh, and that's where we're broadcasting today. The KURV UTRGV Division I football season 2. So we're going to pay some bills, catch up with the world on some of the national news, and come on back with Dr. Francisco Guajardo. We appreciate you joining us on the radio, 710 KURV. These conversations, fascinating conversations with Dr. Guy Bailey, a little golden nuggets of information. We're functioning now as a Tier 1 university, Tier 1 research university. We're now functioning as that. We'll be labeled that near future. In the near future, but already functioning as that. That's some of the information that Dr. Bailey provided for us. Thank you to Jack Ewing. He's an alum from the golden years of baseball back in the early 70s. And, of course, thank you to the Museum of South Texas History for having us here in this special broadcast. Let me send it back to HQ. Producer Freddie going to catch up with the world, pay some bills, and then we'll be right back. Join us at 710 KURV Facebook, X Live, and YouTube Live. You can do a rewind of some of these conversations as well. This is the Sergio Show, and it's made possible by Chamberlain Roofing and Waterproofing, South Texas Buick GMC, and big thank you to Lone Star National Bank.
So, I'll follow your lead, but I think that there's something really important to be said about the role of sports in South Texas, the growth of South Texas. I think there's something to be said, I think, for how the institution of sports, whether it be baseball in the early 20th century, and how baseball would become displaced by football. And now I think we're in a real inflection point in terms of how, in a very dramatic way, football has completely solidified itself as the sport down here because of how it was formalized by the university.
International.
Yeah.
Puro NFL. They're going international. That was a headline earlier this morning out there.
I mean, the NFL puts out this product.
Do you follow it? Do you follow like the Cowboys?
Yeah, I follow.
Like on the surface?
No, granular.
Really?
Yeah, like what? Ask me a
Just
question.
the Cowboys, though, right?
I mean, mostly the Cowboys, yes, because that's. But I follow. Basketball.
Yeah.
I follow the Spurs.
Los
Spurs. But I follow the Cowboys. I know that Camden Brown is a big thing now. He caught 2 touchdowns and on Saturday, and so he's a free agent. He wasn't drafted, and so they think that he might make the team.
Yeah, they'll make a movie about him as well, since he came off the street someday.
You know the story?
No, I don't.
No, okay.
No, me vale. I don't know if you know. I am the chairman of the Cowboy Fan Hating Society of Rio Grande Valley.
Yeah. Are you a Texan fan?
No.
Oiler fan?
No. Oh, yes.
Oiler.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oiler. I was a kid. I was. And
yeah,
broke my heart when they left.
Bum Phillips and Earl Campbell and.
more resources, and reaches more people every day for over 20 years, fighting for the people of the Valley. 1-800-CAR-COURAGE.
The J. Gonzalez Law Firm, a force for justice.
The year keeps on moving forward, and your business can too. Now is the perfect time to advertise and get ahead of the competition. Take advantage of our marketing team that'll help you create a personalized marketing plan and let thousands of people discover your brand through the power of 710 KURV, social media, streaming, and our digital platforms. Don't wait for your competitors to get there first. Reach new customers and get everyone talking about your business. Call us today at 956-992-8895 or visit radiounited.com.
Looking for a flexible part-time opportunity with a fun, fast-paced media company? Radio United is hiring a part-time sales coordinator. If you are organized, enjoy working with people, and have great computer and communication skills, bilingual preferred, we'd love to meet you. Help support our sales team, work with local businesses, and be a part of a company that connects communities every day. Apply now by sending your resume to human resources at radiounited.com. Join our team and help make an impact. Radio United is an equal opportunity employer.
You go, Dad. At LSNB, we build strong foundations on values that matter.
And business practices you can rely on.
Investing in education.
Volunteering in the communities we serve.
And fueling our region's economy.
For over 40 years.
Our mission has been supporting area businesses.
We are LSNB.
Donating more money to more causes than all other area banks combined.
Here, in a place we call home.
We are LSNB. The Valley's Bank.
Identity theft can cost more than you think. Drained investment accounts, stolen tax returns, lost wages, expenses for lawyers. It's a lot. That's why LifeLock is backed by the $1 Million Protection Package, which covers up to $1 million for stolen funds, fees, and experts and lawyers, and out-of-pocket expenses. Don't face the burden of identity theft alone. Protect your future and finances with LifeLock. Join now. Save up to 30% off your first year with promo code BECK at LifeLock.com. 1-800-LifeLock, promo code BECK. LifeLock.com. Terms to apply.
With the Discover Cashback Card, earn 5% cash back at different categories each quarter on up to $1,500 in purchases. It pays to Discover. Terms apply. See discover.com/5 for details.
Fox News, I'm Therese Crowley. He believes in what he calls the Florida dream. Congressman Byron Donalds wins the Florida GOP governor's primary.
Best state in America, and we're not going to stop anytime soon.
Versus Democrat David Jolly. Democrat Socialists failed at 2 bids to primary liberal Democrat House members who support Israel, but scored an upset in the Senate Democrat primary.
Another Democratic Socialist made headway.
What do we do?
Angie Nixon in a come-from-behind win for the Democratic Senate nomination in Florida.
Florida, Fox's Doug Luzader, Nixon versus GOP Senator Ashley Moody. Alaska Democrat Mary Peltola takes on Senator Dan S. Sullivan. President Trump agrees to hold off on 50% Canada tariffs that were set to kick in today and teased a possible revival of the Keystone XL pipeline, calling it awoken from the grave. America's listening to Fox News.
Broadcasting from the Valley's commercial and fleet headquarters studio at PayneAutoGroup.com. You're listening to News Talk 710 KURV.
Time is 10:42. This is the Sergio Show on News Talk 710 KURV, and you're listening to a special presentation from the gorgeous Museum of South Texas History, Most History, downtown Edinburgh. It's a KURV UTRGV Division I football season 2 special, and the reason we're here is thanks in part to Dr. Guy Bailey, UTRGV, his office, and also my friend Jack Ewing, CPA, an alum from the golden years of baseball at Pan American back in the 70s, and of course, my friend, I lovingly refer to him as Frank, always been Frank. He is Dr. Francisco Guajardo to you, though. He's the CEO of Museum of South Texas History. Thank you for having us over again. I hope that for maybe a few years we can keep this cadence going and start football season this way. So we have several books, yearbooks, here on our desk right now. So let's start with those yearbooks. What is that? What do you have?
So, Sergio, we went to the archives this morning, at the Museum of South Texas History.
So when you open up the vault, there were like bats
there's all kinds. No, because of museum standards. Don't say that because the American Alliance of Museums might come down on us because they're the accrediting
I was
body.
kidding. Sorry.
There are standards for how we maintain an archive, and we take that very, very seriously.
Okay.
So the Margaret H. McCallan Memorial Archive is the name of our archive. Mrs. McCallan was like, a hero in the creation of this institution way back in the 60s and into the 70s and into the early 80s. So our archive is actually a very deep archive, and we have yearbooks of the college. So the story of the college goes like this. So this is, if we were to go back 100 years, think about who would have been the Guy Bailey of the time.
Oof.
Who would have been the early sort of leaders of the institution. And even before there was a college, there was a fellow by the name of William Rogers Montgomery, who happened to be the state legislator up in Austin from Edinburgh. William Rogers Montgomery in 1925 wrote a clause that said that the legislature would give permission for the creation of the Edinburgh College that would be incubated within the Edinburgh Consolidated Independent School District. So UTRGV would be born in 1926, 1927, it would open its doors to the public. And when the college was born, the school district had already been, a decade and a half in existence. So the college was born. The college was born with a lot of offerings. By the way, in the same building, the high school and the college in the same building.
Yeah.
And when the yearbooks began to be published, and we have those yearbooks.
Again, 1927
was the first year. I have right in front of me what they call the Midlothian. That was the name of the yearbook. Later it would be El Bronco, and other kinds of names.
Yeah.
But in the Midlothian of 1928 that I'm looking at, and if you are
be careful with the parchments, they might come
if you're looking through
disintegrate.
Looking at this through, is it Facebook that people? Yeah. And so this is a yearbook, the Midlothian, and in here we have the documented evidence of a football team. Sergio, they were playing football out of the college in 1928, in 1929. Now, football would take a break in the 1930s. You got the Great Depression, you have maybe a scarcity of resources, that sort of thing. But in the 1940s, the late 1940s, football would be resurrected at the Edinburgh Regional College.
Okay.
So the college went through different iterations in terms of names. I mean,
so was it Edinburgh College at the outset, or
at the outset, Edinburgh College.
Edinburgh College.
Edinburgh College would become Edinburgh Junior College. Edinburgh Junior College would then become something else when the legislature allowed local people to have a taxing district. And so a taxing district here in South Texas would then finance the college. So it changed its name to Edinburgh Regional College, which is what the legislature said you have to be to have your own taxing district, to be able to raise money to do this and that sort of thing, right? Still not heavy on state funds or any of that. So regional college, when it was a regional college, for only about 4 or 5 years, it had a football team.
Wow.
Because the local people apparently wanted a football team.
Yeah, even
and on that football team were luminaries, people with names like Eligio de la Garza. Do you remember that name? That's Kika de la Garza.
Kika, our Congress. You told me this last time.
Yes, I told you this last time.
Yeah.
And other people, I think I showed you names
I forget that's his name.
Yeah, that was his name. Kika de la Garza would be on the football team.
Yeah.
Kika de la Garza was like 5'6".
I was saying, estaba bien chaparrito. Like, what did he do? What did he do? Was he the kicker or what?
He was small but slow.
Oh. That's pretty much Kika's entire life, man.
No, but Kika was sharp-witted. When he got into Congress and that sort of thing, would become a really important leader for the region.
Yeah.
But in 1948 is when the first football team is fielded. During its iteration as the Edinburgh Junior College, and it was a big deal. It was a big deal. Like all the way up to 1951, they had a football team. Now, when it became Pan American College, is when it ceased to exist at
the football program.
The football program. The football program, yes. And so I'm just like scrolling.
And why? It's because they use their resources for other stuff, or they didn't want an athletics program. Or?
My guess is that the new leadership. Look at this. This is a roster of the football team. And so my response to your question here, Sergio, you can't take as gospel truth because I actually don't know the exact reasons for why they would have discontinued football.
Yeah.
But I can imagine. I can imagine that it would have been about resources. I mean, during this time, the college for many, many years, in fact, was always resource strapped. And in fact, when it became Pan American University in 1968, which is graduating from Pan American College, it was always resource poor.
Yes, sir.
And it wasn't until the mid to late 70s, that there was a movement. And there were certain people here in the Valley who were very, very important in pushing for it. One of those was a fellow by the name of Morris Atlas. You may remember the name Morris Atlas from Atlas and Hall, one of the founders of the law firm. Morris Atlas bled burnt orange, by the way. He had gone to UT. He had met his wife at UT. He went to UT Law, graduated in 1950, then would come down to the Valley to become a lawyer. And he would become a very consequential lawyer down here. In fact, he was the one who defended the Russian spy that was detained in McAllen. This is about 1958, más o menos. There was a movie with Tom Hanks. Noel, look up the movie, the name of the movie. A very big blockbuster movie with Tom Hanks about this.
I remember the bridge scene.
The bridge, So the intrigue of this Cold War and the Russians and the Americans and all that. That spy, I think, like Arthur Rubel. No, it wasn't that. What's the name of the movie? So we'll find the name of the movie and also the spy. Bridge of Spies.
Hello, Bridge.
So the name of the Russian agent who was then shipped to McAllen, Texas. Sergio, a las escondidas. Because this was like completely, a top secret operation. So this guy was defended by a young lawyer from McAllen, Texas, a guy named Morris Atlas.
Yeah, no math.
It's a great story. It's a great story. So Morris Atlas, as he would come of age, and Atlas and Hall would grow into a really serious, large law firm in South Texas. Morris Atlas would be one of the leaders to convince the local people and the legislature and UT system that this cannot continue to exist at Pan American University. It needs to be the University of Texas, Pan American. And when we saw that, we saw a windfall of resources come down to South Texas because now it was part of the UT system. So now it had some muscle behind it, at that point, the Valley could not tap what's called the PUF, the Permanent University Fund, because that was for UT and A&M schools. UT gets 2/3 of the proceeds from PUF, A&M 1/3 of the proceeds from PUF. And based on that wealth, this is why UT and A&M are two of the largest endowed schools in the country. I think UT is the second largest endowment in the world, in fact, as far as university endowments go. On the weight of 2/3 of the Permanent University Fund, A&M on the weight of 1/3 of the Permanent University Fund, A&M is like 8th or 9th largest university endowment in the world. So imagine that. That's what oil money in West Texas does. So we couldn't tap PUF, but we could tap other resources from the University of Texas system. And it really wasn't until, you remember the name Mac Brown?
Yeah.
He was the national championship coach for the University of Texas when Vince Young was a quarterback. This is a 2004-2005 season.
Oof, yeah.
When Mac Brown exited as the coach of the University of Texas, there were a group of people who were thinking about, hey, how about a football program down in the Valley? So when UTRGV was created by legislative mandate, and you remember what happened then in 2013, 14, 15, UT Brownsville had to be abolished, UT Pan American had to be abolished, and you created a new university. That new university had a set of principles. One of those principles is that it would have a school of medicine.
Yes, we've got a medical school.
And another principle is it would be an emerging Research One institution. So when Dr. Brady comes on here and says we're R1
functioning now as R1,
that is years of planning and years of a vision.
Amazing.
But the magic sauce to that, Sergio, is that now you're PUF eligible. Permanent University Fund eligible. And if you remember from 2015 to 2017, más o menos, there was a windfall of resources. I don't remember what the dollar amount was, but it was probably close to $500 million that came to South Texas. In a 2-year period, Sergio, more money came down to South Texas for higher ed than in the entirety of the different institutions in South Texas and resources that came to South in 2 years.
Yes, sir.
Because of puff money.
Brick and mortar people, you guys working for a living, driving around town, listening to KURV. That access to puff, that was the brick and mortar for our medical school, for various other buildings, and still building. There's still
The science building
they're
and
still moving dirt.
The building in academic building in Brownsville, the science building here, and then brick and mortar is what Puff pays for largely, right? But when you can have Puff to pay for brick and mortar, your institution can now focus on other things because now you have resources available to be doing other things. Recruit the best faculty. Research centers. Those kinds of things you can do. You can be much more creative because now you don't have to pay for all of the brick and mortar because Puff can do that.
Our medical school, our medical research is off the charts. Did you hear that little report? They have found a way to detect ALS, Lou Gehrig's, by peeing in a cup. Our university, UTRGV, that might be a test that comes to market near future. Pee in a cup, you are that age because they need to catch it early.
Right.
It won't work unless they catch ALS. And we hear UTRGV is doing that.
And I think the broader historical point there is that it doesn't happen without a vision, and it doesn't happen without the resources being pumped into a community, into an institution. And so I think that's where we are now. We are, right in that moment of, realizing a vision, that has really been shaped by, I think, availability of resources. And this is why this institution, I think, can now imagine. And this is how it imagined a football team. And Mac Brown led the committee to imagine the football team.
20 years ago. My goodness.
Maybe 10, 15 years ago. But yeah.
2003.
Well, no, it's probably more like 10 to 12 years ago.
When they were talking about the football
When they were
program.
talking about football team, when they hire Mac Brown to be the lead consultant to build a framework for how do you have a football team. So he won the national championship in 2005. He stayed at Texas until 2009, 10, maybe 11, when Texas lost to Alabama in the national championship with Colt McCoy, 2009 or so. Mac Brown coached for another 2-3 years, and then he exited. And it's about maybe 13, 14 that he begins to lead the effort to imagine a football program down here. And so years later now, we would have a football, and it's created all kinds of excitement and all kinds of stuff. And,
in the blink of an eye.
Yeah.
Just amazing how quickly things have changed. Now I've never visited the halls of Atlas Hall, the attorney's office here in McAllen. Now I really want to go visit. I bet the walls are adorned with all sorts of different articles and
well,
history.
first of all, you're very punny.
No?
That's a play on words. Funny, but I'm punny.
Okay.
Yeah, you're
Sorry,
Touche,
that was unintentional, by the way. No pun intended. Yeah.
Atlas and Hall is a very consequential law firm down here in South Texas. And some of the people who have worked there through the years, have been, I think, real legal giants. Yeah. So I think it's a place to pay attention to. And we have the archival collection of Morris Atlas. His son, Scott, who grew up in McAllen, went to UT Law, is a lawyer in Houston. His son, Scott Atlas, donated his father's archival collection to our museum. And so we have it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't need to go there. I just need to come over here.
No, you come here.
Okay.
Yeah, you're here.
Awesome.
Yes.
Wow. This is the KURV UTRGV Division I Football Season 2 special. We're broadcasting from the Museum of South Texas History. Dr. Francisco Guajardo, he's the CEO. He's the boss here at our museum. And focusing on our university and the metamorphosis that's taking place right now in the Valley economy. 30 years ago when I started the KURV Plus, I would not have believed you had you told me we'd be firing rockets into space and we had a refinery on the way. We got a shipyard for the Navy and all this. What an amazing change. Of course, the university will be essential in filling those engineering jobs.
A word of warning, Sergio, a word of warning. And so this is me wearing both a museum hat and a local historian hat, that in the midst of all this change, in the midst of all this transformation, creation of opportunities and all that, here's my concern, that we do all this development from an ahistorical perspective, meaning without really knowing our history well. And so I think that it behooves us to understand the history of this place in order to really have well-informed, insightful, and good planning for the development of this region. If we don't know that we have important issues around water and just ecological imperatives that history has taught us, then we're going to get into some trouble. So knowing the history of this place, knowing the economic contours as things have gone through the years, knowing that this has been a contested space forever. The great intellectual Gloria Anzaldúa once wrote that the borderland exists as una herida abierta. The river exists as una herida abierta. And so
like an open wound. The river's like an open wound.
And so sometimes we pour salt on that wound rather than to do what Anzaldúa told us to do, was to be agents to heal the wound. And so we've had warfare, we've had militarization of the border, which have been constant. And so to learn from that history, to learn about the access to water that we have, to learn about how every rainfall that comes down, every drop, the levels of humidity and just the climate here, 60% of every drop will evaporate before it hits the ground. So even levels of precipitation, we have to be very, very thoughtful and studious about that, because it all impacts our environment.
And it's incumbent on, I believe, especially the lead would be county leadership, both Cameron County, Hidalgo County. Frank, thank you for having us over.
And this, Sergio, this having conversations to have people, think about being aware of themselves and of history and the community and where we're going. So the more historically grounded we are, the more, I think, the more better planning we can be about our institutions and our communities.
That microphone at the studio is yours. You come back anytime. You have an idea, something that's linked back to history, resources, minty. Come over to the studio. Thank you, Frank, for having us over. Dr. Francisco Guajardo, CEO, Museum of South Texas History. Thank you, UTRGV. Thank you, Jack Ewing, again, for the special presentation. Go Vaqueros, V's up. The Sergio Show on 710 KURV. Time is 10:58.
Looking for equipment you can trust from a name that stood strong for over 50 years? Rivera's Machinery has been serving the